I'm just going to show you this thing from Facebook, which is Daft Trucks UK milking the hell out of this situation, which involves one of the DAF aid fitters, Richard here from Motors. He's gone out to check out an NHS truck. Yep, okay, one of these everyday heroes. Everybody who works in this trade is going to be a hero anyway at any time. But I find it funny that Richard was able to facilitate a temporary repair, which enabled the truck to finish off its deliveries. Yeah, well, if you look at the picture, it's actually a rigid. It might have a drawbar on it, but yeah, talk about milking the situation for publicity. It's a bit silly, but yeah, guys are out there doing it. Keep on doing it. We're looking up to you.
Fitter 26, you've got a call out. Get your gloves on and your mask. Make sure you've got a weapon. We have a situation here. The driver needs a headlight bulb changing. It's important you get out there and fix it straight away. We've supplies to get to the hospital.
Right then, guys and a girl, how are you doing? How's COVID-19 experience working out for you specifically? Comments below. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'm now off to get some exercise. Yeah, well, no, not exactly. I will be later. However, I just want to thank the guys who are holding the fort at the moment while we're all on furlough. Some of us have had to make some very hard choices, whether to continue working or to sit at home, stare at the walls and eventually climb up them. Yeah, and the guys on furlough, or furlough should I say, know exactly what this is about, but it is not something that's a usual thing. It's quite serious, isn't it? Although people like David Icke and all the other conspiracy theorists are now saying that this is all organised for some reason or another, fuck them. It's what is what it is at the moment, so we just have to cope with it, don't we? Yeah, so what are you up to while you're isolated? Well, I'll tell you what I'm up to. It might be of interest to you, maybe not, I don't know. Yeah, I am on a big project, so I'm keeping busy, yeah. This involves a lot of words and quite a lot of bullshit, and I don't want to say any more than that, I'm sorry, just in case I jinx it, okay? So what I will do, I'll tell you that something's in the pipeline. It might take months yet to finish, but I do have the time to dedicate to smashing out something, and it's nothing to do with motor vehicle repair. Yeah, I do have another part to my life that not many people know, not many people are interested in, but I have a wealth of knowledge which I could be wanting to share later. That's all I'm going to say. Right, so I'm at home with the boy and he's got schoolwork to do, so that takes up some of my time, making sure he's actually on there before he goes back onto the Microsoft virtual world and kills everything that fucking moves. Yeah, we're watching a movie every night, we're going through Netflix movies, but because he studies media, we're just looking at things in a slightly different way, how we watch films and how the story plays out. Yeah, it's all good. At the end of the day, it's better than just being passively watching stuff, isn't it? Yeah, so I am, oh God, do I have to admit this? I've been lazy for the last, God, it's coming on for 9 months now since I moved away to nearer Norwich, and the time that I haven't had to exercise means I haven't done much of it, any at all. However, there is still a desire. I've got these rubber bands here and I'm using them. They're actually pretty good. Instead of using weights, which are hard to get hold of and they're expensive, these rubber bands are an inexpensive option. You can also use them in a small space, and the benefit here is that you get resistance all the way through a movement. So if you're doing flies or dumbbell flies or whatever, or hammer curls, you can work out how to do it, then you get resistance right the way up the movement, which is pretty good. And back again, obviously, it's what you need to develop muscles, and strength is resistance. And these bands, you get different sizes of them, which means you can add resistance. And of course, the shorter the length, the more resistance you will have on that rubber band. Yeah, not the same as the type you get in offices, obviously. So I'm working on that with the help of a couple of books as well. One of these I've had for absolute years. It's been a brilliant resource. Shows you the muscle groups and which exercises target certain muscle groups. And out of that, I can devise exercises. Now, I didn't work it out on my own. I actually watched some YouTube videos of how to use these rubber bands, resistance bands, and then realised that these people, they've got all their wonderful, weird ways of doing things. They're just adapting different techniques, like using cable machines and weightlifting, free weights, and putting it on to apply it to these bands. So they just need anchored and whatever. So that works out quite well as running. Yeah. Plus there's the opportunity to learn a few more recipes. Yeah, I'm not a good cook. I'm trying to just get a bit more variety in the diet. And of course, some of you know that I was on a keto diet. I did come off it for a little while and I felt shit, to be honest with you. I put on weight. I've got to lose 7 kilograms. So I want to run as well, get some cardiovascular work done. The whole idea here is just to get fit. At the end of the day, occupy my time, and I've got the time to do it in. Yeah, it's better than just masturbating to Pornhub, isn't it? Because unless you're ambidextrous or have got 2 cocks, you're only going to work one fucking side of you, ain't you? Yeah, and then you get tired of it after a while, don't you? So, all those guys who've got living lovers, great. Those people who are restricted from socialising, well, that's just tough shit, isn't it? It's the way it is. Is the way it is, yeah? So, we get a one trip out a day, which I use very well. So, either going to the shops on the bike, this bike here, and working my leg muscles, or driving in the car, or going out running, yeah? And avoiding everybody, which I generally do anyway, because not that I don't like people, is that some people, especially in this area, they're creatures, for want of a better word, yeah. However, when you see somebody nice, it's hard to approach them because you know you got to keep your fucking distance, haven't you? Yeah, and I don't really want a mobile phone romance, do I? No, anyway. So, how it worked out with Furlough was that we were asked to volunteer. So 4 of us went, and if we hadn't have gone, they would have asked us anyway. We started on the 1st in Furlough, and that's 80% of the wage that we usually get. Now, I had to weigh this one up. Excuse me, my nose is itching. Yeah, I had to weigh this one up and decided that because of my costs travelling to work and the cost involved in working, it's actually just as well that I stay at home. Some guys can't do this. They need the overtime. And luckily our company has recognised this, and they're the ones that they're keeping. Yeah, they're the more, should I say, skilled technicians, the ones that are good at diagnostics and plugging in the Davy, stuff like that. I mean, I'm just a grunt at the end of the day. I'm happy in my position. Well, say that. I'm actually happy not being there. I know my service manager, Dave, you're watching. Yeah. And you said watch the TV for a notification when to go back. Well, I haven't got fucking TV, so if I don't turn up, it's because nobody's told me to come back. Not that I want to come back anyway. I think I've near enough played out my time now, and I'm wanting to do something else, even though I've left it a little bit too late. But in reality, you know, I've got to go back to that fucking work. Yeah, still love it at the end of the day, don't you? It sort of gives you identity. But anyway, that's enough of me. Enough talking about you. Yeah, guys, just keep following the rules. I got a letter from Boris Johnson, personally signed by him as well. Said basically this is going to carry on for a little while, and the poor little fucker's in hospital now, isn't he? He's got it himself. So, yeah, serious stuff. I did watch a few conspiracy theory things, especially David Icke, who is the biggest fucking retard on the planet. Seems to think that this is a ploy behind this, or this is a biological weapon made by China, and it's all connected with 5G, because while everybody's at home, they're installing 5G everywhere, which is going to control our minds. Probably true. Who gives a fuck? Yeah, as long as you get a better internet signal on your mobile signal, all the better, eh? However, there is some shit about. There really is some shit about, and I think it's people when they start getting cabin fever, their brain starts to go off in all sorts of directions and make connections that aren't actually there. The reason we don't think it's that serious is because we aren't seeing people dying on the fucking streets. We're not seeing zombies wandering around everywhere. We're not being attacked, and there's no desperation, which is good. Yeah, as long as we follow the guidelines, this thing will slow right down. The hospitals will be able to cope, and hopefully this will all be over by summer, so we can go down the Winchester Arms and have a fucking good pint, can't we? But we'll have to wait and see. Don't know how this is going to pan out. Worst case scenario is society slips into one hell of a shitstorm, and we are going to have to pull our belts up and start fucking fighting for ourselves. The other option is we go back to work and we've got a backlog of everything to do, get all the MOTs up to date, all the servicing and everything else. And there's going to be some changes, aren't there? We'll just have to wait and see. And this is what it's about. So enjoy the time that you have if you're in furlough, and know you're appreciated if you're still at work, because if you go ill, just for instance, hopefully you don't, then there are people in reserve to step in and carry the baton, as it were. Yeah. We're not in the last days. I don't think there'll be any four-headed monsters coming down from heaven. God will not be blowing his trumpet, and we will not be seeing the apocalypse. Hopefully. Who fucking knows? But positive thought here is that everything will be okay as long as you just follow the guidelines and all that. So anyway, time to fuck off. So enjoy yourself, enjoy the COVID-19 experience. It was something you can tell your grandchildren. So see you later. Bye.
I don't know if any of you guys are aware that the Indusert and Whirlpool Hotpoint have faults with their washing machines. This one came out with a fault code. It was fucked. It wouldn't work. And what happened was the switch in the door actually burnt out. So there is a scheme to replace them because the wiring was absolutely charred. This was a fire hazard. They have actually now replaced the washing machine for a brand new one, which is pretty good. I'm well chuffed with that. And anybody who is suffering from a shitty washing machine should check the switch on the door.